Zegna, Traveler. You'll notice up there it's a slight price change, and we'll get onto that later, but we want to, I think we become more affiliated with Zegna, and myself and John in particular are trying to let's try and learn more about Zegna and the brand that they are. And yes, they're a behemoth menswear company. In terms of menswear, probably the biggest in the world in terms of luxury menswear. I think it can be overshadowed by the other things that they do, especially that they have the Zegna line and then the normal Zegna label. It can get confusing. So, but in terms of their cloth, I think they strive to match what Loro Piana do in terms of being completely vertically integrated. They strive on finding the finest fabric in the world, like Dorme do, and at the same time have this kind of massive brand presence, which I think we can work from. So there's a few bunches in the Zegna, although it is a more conservative, business-orientated mill, and is only really kind of fun some of the time. But for a guy that's discerning about menswear, that's concerned about fabric, that wants a go-to business suit, I think this bunch, is one of the best. So you'll have a lot of guys, Kendall works with all these guys, Caroline, your guys that are VPs, CEOs, really high up in companies. This is the stuff they want. And this is the stuff, one, because it's brand, one, because they just know it's the best in terms of raw materials and all that stuff. So, they might not have heard of Dorme yet, but they'll come in and they'll say, I want Zegna, or you pull out Zegna straight away, and that's that's the benchmark. So, I think we can use the Zegna in terms of the benchmark, at the highest kind of run in terms of this business suiting. And then you get obviously Dorme is the exclusivity part of it. So again, this is iconic fabric. Again, very conservative kind of plainer styles, like the Loro Piana, very orientated to a US customer. I love the selection of grays. As I've said before, I think Zegna do a really nice gray color palette. This is in a twill weave finish, so extremely high on crimp, high on recovery. I like it. You can wear it packed or on planes, 2 meetings, on long train rides, all those things. But I think this is going to be your guys that want a statement suit, that are high up on their business ladder, and made from literally wool that's farmed 10 hours outside west of Sydney, and some of the finest in the world. And the owner of the Zegna family, they go out there and personally go out and find these fabrics and are heavily invested in them. So they own part of these wool manufacturers, and they go and want the best and want to source the best and want to provide the best textiles that they can for their clients. So I think we can't go past Zegna, and I think I'm going to write a piece of the Gentleman's Standard based on that article and about Zegna and about wool production and how kind of these brands now as fast fashion kind of takes over everything. There needs to be, I think quality needs to stand out. And quality is something that we can always be pitching in everything we do, and we should be proud of that in terms of the fabrics we use, in terms of the construction we use, and we're not settling for second best. So again, great bunch at the top echelon. Pull out Zegna and all your big guys are going to know what it is. So I don't know, Kendall, if you want to add anything to that, Caroline.
I think you just said it well. It's the guy he has kids and he lives in Connecticut, and he already has 6 Zegna suits that he's had in his closet, and he's coming in because he's just going to try out another custom place. He's been to a ton of others, but his tailor that he uses in Connecticut is shutting down or something like that, and he caught him at the right time. So Zegna, if he's you start talking to him, he's I already have a couple of Zegna suits in the closet, so that's usually a good place to start. You can know when a guy recognizes Zegna, but it's way outside his price point. You can pick up on that pretty easily.
Why did they drop the price?
Huh?
Why did they drop the price?
Why? So, John had this thought that how many guys are we missing that the jump was too big from like a tier 5 to tier 6, and how many guys that like did we miss because A, we weren't talking about Zegna enough, and 2, maybe the price point was like a little bit more inelastic. So hey, can we up 2 bunches from Zegna at $23.95 that can help jump from it, or a Piana easily, or an Arison more easily, to then start getting into those higher tiers. So this is like a thought that we've gone through, and something that like, hey, one, what's the guy willing to spend on Zegna? But then how much is the guy willing to spend that's not in that price range? And how much can we get those guys to jump up? So there's only going to be a certain amount of books in this lower price range, I think 2. But Travel is one of them, and it's a good entry book that we can use to get a guy into Zegna, into Dorme. Dorme is going to have the same look.
So Lord Piana has this epic story behind it, right? Like looking at everything else about it, and then you go to Arison, also very similar with the very high R&D. What is that epic story with Zegna that you can really relate to the customer?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, with Laura Piana, the epic story is cashmere. They're the biggest producer of fine cashmere in the world. They pretty much include it in all their winter bunches, and it's extremely incredible the way they talk about their vertically integrated process and how everyone at Laura Piana is so proud about like everything they do, just trying to be the best, most luxurious brand in the world, right? Yeah, and then you have Arison, which is like this little kind of crazy mill where they run around like crazy Einsteins, making like which fabrics can we design, how big can we make these Glen plaids, pretty damn big this year, and how kind of ostentatious can we be? I think Zegna, I think there's always been this like affinity with wool production and silk production. So they kind of want to follow, they want to be vested in what they're pretty much buying, right? So I think now it's been like 60 years or something they've been invested in like farms in Australia, where they're going and they're solely trying to create breed the best sheep in the world that will provide like the best cloth for their suiting. So they're invested specifically in wool. And Paolo Zegna, who's now like the head of the Zegna family, he goes out there every year to a farm in Australia, like in his RMs, which I don't know if any of you guys know what that is besides Nathan, but in his boots and literally goes out there herding sheep with these guys. Like he's just like loves it, and he's like married to an Australian woman who he met there like 50 years ago. Like that's pretty cool.
So the owner is literally like playing with the sheep. Like he's actually like herding them. That's an epic story. That is an epic story. Yeah.
So like this old 60-year-old Italian guy just like going out like 6 hours west of Sydney, like in literally the outback, like on 10,000 acre farms, just like which he owns, to find like the best sheep in the world. So Dorme's story again is a little bit different, but it's amazing when you get to these higher price point tiers of like how exclusively invested these owners or the people that run the production, run the companies, like are invested in the raw materials, and it's pretty inspiring.
Couldn't you also say that Lord Piana is now part of the LVMH family, so they're like more mass, it's more of a massive conglomerate versus Zegna has its own situation.
The
If
problem
you're trying
is
to
like,
jump them.
yeah, if you're trying to jump them, candidly, like LVMH don't deal too much in their textile production, but I wouldn't say that's a bad thing.
No.
But it's different. It's different. Like I'd say the Traveler is different. 240 grams. It's for a guy that's like always going to be inside, like all the time.
Yeah.
Like the winter trofeo is like 240 grams. Like we'll talk about that later. But why is a winter fabric too light? It's some weight, but I'll explain that later. But I think it's just again we can leverage the brand name a little more than Laura Piana in terms of like Zegna is like out and out suiting. Like Laura Piana don't make suits.
Yeah.
Like in fact they discontinued their made to measure program in America. So it just shows you that they want to focus more on ready to wear.
Well, and then with Zegna, whenever I'm talking to a client that's not a Connecticut guy that still wants a nice suit, if you don't, sometimes they don't recognize just Zegna, and I'm like, I can't pronounce, like, I'm gonna watch the first name, like, it's American, and once you show them the full name, they like usually recognize, and then I'm like, well, this could be wrong, right? Like, it's the Italian version, menswear version of like our Ralph Lauren, like the U.S. Ralph Lauren, because they are the biggest Italian brand with like, and it's similar, all the tiers, Zegna, Ralph Lauren has all those tiers too.
Yeah, you look at like, they were kind of the first brand to, like Giorgio Armani kind of brought menswear to America in the 80s, and like this kind of softer like silhouette, this Italian suit to America in the 80s, and with this like soft silhouette, like a Neapolitan style jacket. But it wasn't like, they weren't concerned about like the raw materials that went into it. And like Zegna was the first brand that was like, okay, like yeah, the suit can be soft and you know, the jacket and movable, but like what's the point if the fabrics aren't breathable, if the fabrics aren't you know, they have high performance and recovery and things like that. Like they were the first brand that's like, hey, let's start focusing on the raw materials that we put in the garment as well as the construction.
Cool.
Yeah.
And whenever we've been at the photo shoots, last 7-8 seasons, when we go through and we start shooting the signature stuff first, like you should see us like listen at everyone, we're like, oh, no, shoot it again. We're like trying to pin and pull it. And then we get up to the Zegna and Dorme, like I barely have to touch it. It just like performs so well, drapes so well, everything that Lewis covered at the beginning. So I mean, whenever I'm with new stylists, I say, you know, the difference between the signature and the Zegna, when you're moving up, why would I pay more? It's going to perform better and last longer. And part of that performance is fit and how it drapes. So proof is in the pudding. When we're in those photo shoots, we literally move within 4 hours from the bottom straight up and show it right there.